Uh, the issue of my name is Abdul Rahman Busera Mohammed. I am the leader and guide of the Nation of Patriots, and I saw a clip just this day on a brother called Serone. I don't know where he comes from, but he brought out very serious issues regarding the monetary situation of our country. And the brother raised legitimate issues that I think are of concern to all Kenyans. But what I think brother needs to look further into is the whole issue of the central banking system. As he said that money is not created through thin air, but maybe I would qualify and tell him outrightly and tell all other people of the world outrightly that yes, money is created through thin air. Because if you look at what is called the central bank of any country, not let alone Kenya, this central bank was not initially the central bank. It used to be called the East African Currency Board until 1966. And the role of the central bank is to undergird, regularize, and control the operations of the commercial banks. But there's a question about money for over 100 years that people have never asked themselves. Young children always ask us in their houses, "Daddy or mommy, where do babies come from?" And then we find that funny. But people live with money and nobody asks where money comes from. They even call it currency, meaning it flows in our everyday's life. So if we want to understand the central banking system, we must ask ourselves the simple question: where does money come from? We all know that the central bank, actually, it is perceived to be the bank of the banks. It is the one that gives out money according to the rules and regulations of its operations. But the one thing that people have never been told in this world is that the whole banking systems operate on one thing, what they call the fiat money. Through the system of conjuring money into the banking system with what we call the collateralized debt obligation. For example, in Kenya, if you look at where the central bank is, that's where you'll find the treasury, and that's where you'll find Herufi House. People have never asked themselves, what is the relevance of Herufi House? Because if we go to get money in terms of loans outside, the first thing we are asked is collateral. So now, if we have to be asked for collateral, it means that the guy who is giving us the money has to get surety of how they are going to get their money back. And so, if when our Minister of Finance goes out and the government goes out to borrow, they have to place on the table a surety of how the lender is going to get back their money. And that's when now collateral comes in. And we know that in a nation where we don't produce anything for export that is of substance, then collateral has to be through the taxation of the labor of the citizens and through the deposit of our land and natural resources. So when all these things are happening, we need to rethink and probably reorganize the way the government is saying to understand the whole central banking system and how it operates and how money is conjured into the system through the policies of the central bank, and why we are charged interest on the dollar as per the regulations. When we understand all these things, and it's a topic that can never be taught, I think in the next forum I'll be looking for this brother so that we can be able now to discuss the whole of this central banking system and how it operates, so that many Kenyans can now start understanding why the policies of the central bank cannot be pro the people, because they are also in the business of creating interest or profit out of money that does not exist. So I'll be looking forward to this discussion, and Brother Maliangovi, through his channel, I think he will be able to create a forum for us to have a sit down with many other Kenyans, so that we can in depth discuss this whole monetary issue. Thank you very much.